Here we go. It's the Cop-Eye Podcast.
What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the Cop-Eye Podcast. I just love doing that little smile at the beginning. I can't help myself. Anyway, yeah, welcome back to the Cop-Eye Podcast. Another match preview. I was going to do an opposition overview, but I thought, could there really be asked where Liverpool are playing? The answer was no. So here we are. Me and Jay. How you doing, Jay, lad? You okay?
All the better for seeing you, my friend.
Got your obligatory pint. I haven't got one today. I'm trying to have less of it because I was watching the last one back and I was like, oh my God, you were smashed. Because I was on the rubs and everything, so I was absolutely goosed. So
You lads, to be fair. I've just had quite a long day and I'm just like relaxing. Yeah. So yeah, I've just had a long day.
And we're joined by Tim as well as usual. How are you doing, Tim, mate? You okay?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Looking forward to this one.
And what are you on? Are you on the pure vodka there, or is that just good?
That is
good quality
that is straight from Russia, the strong stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Straight out the top. Yeah, let's just go anyway. Obviously, Burnley tomorrow. I believe they're 17th in the league at the moment. We're not firing on all cylinders, but Klopp's press conference today was quite insightful in terms of Joel Matip is back in the fold. What were your reactions to that, Jay? Obviously, we thought we were going to be back. Oh, yeah, well, we thought he was going to be back for the last game, but it looks like he is back now. That's obviously huge news for us, isn't it, going into this one against the aerial threat that is Burnley.
Yeah, I just want him back for the domino effect. So he comes into the side and then it pushes Hendo into the midfield, so we have a little bit more stability in what we're used to, and so we can relax as a fan base and maybe the team can relax as a fan base, but it's never going to be right until we've got Fabinho in there as well. So we need to stop kidding ourselves that that's going to change anything. But on the flip side to it, it would be a massive boost for us to see Joel back in the side, and we all wanted it at the weekend against United. I don't think by not having him in the side, affected us defensively, but it certainly affected us going forward because it allowed us, because we sort of got overrun in the midfield a little bit. So it would have allowed us to have Hendo in there a little bit, sort of dictating the play like he likes to do. But yeah, massive positive if he starts the game tomorrow.
Yeah, and your thoughts, Tim, obviously, I'm hoping tomorrow will be a Matip. I'm hoping for a Matip and Phillips, to be honest, just to stem what Burnley are going to do. They'll obviously play long balls, and if they've got Matip in there and Nat Phillips as well, your doppelganger, as Matt liked to call you on the last pod, then we should be more than adept to deal with what they're about, shouldn't we? So do you imagine, or are you hoping it'll be those two, or are you hoping for Fab just to keep that continuity at the back?
No, I think it's time to move Fab back into the midfield and play our strongest midfield three. I think that tomorrow's going to be more important about getting us going forward rather than keeping a clean sheet. If we won 3-1 or 3-2, I'd be more happy than if we kind of like drew 0-0 again, obviously. But if we won 1-0 or it was a goal, that an own goal or a mistake by them, I'd still be worried about us going forward. So I think I'm more concerned with us going forward, and therefore I'd like to see our regular midfielders back in midfield. And as you said, Burnley ranked first in the league in long balls. I think they hit like 75 long balls a game or something stupid like that. So having an aerial presence, especially with Wood up front, is key. So probably Phillips and Matip is the best back line we could probably put out against the side.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to go and say exactly what Martin Barton, the legend that is Martin Barton with his little pearls of wisdom. He's always right as Martin. But yeah, Joel Matip and Nat Phillips at the back would suit how Burnley play. Fab, Hendo, Thiago in midfield. Yeah, are you agreeing with that, Jay?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I know I didn't really mention it when you first asked me the first question, but that was what I was trying to get out in my head. Was I would definitely. It can't get any fucking worse in terms of centre back pairings. But like Tim's just said, he's absolutely spot on. We need that stability in midfield, like I said. But putting Thiago, Hendo, and Fabinho together would be incredible, and something that we've not really seen much of. So I would love to see that. And yeah, shove Nat Phillips at the back because he's built for it. So why not? I really hope that happens. I hope Klopp's had a look and thought, maybe now I need to go back to the old formula and trust in these lads that are the backup centre halves. And I really hope he does, mate, because I would be absolutely buzzing if the starting lineup was Matip, Phillips, Hendo, Thiago, and Fab in that sort of five. I'd be made up.
Yeah, and it just get, like we said, like a bit back to the norm. Obviously, last game playing two centre midfielders there, having coming up against the Burnley team that are just going to sit back. We've seen that against when they played Man United the other week. They were really poor, but they were just kicking the ball downfield, and then it was just coming back. Like Man United were eventually going to score. I don't feel as confident in our scoring abilities at the moment. Obviously, I knew Man United would score because they always seem to do, obviously, apart from against us. But we just haven't clicked up top at the moment, and that feeds into what another thing Klopp said today about Diego Jota is going to be back in a few weeks, he said. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's Klopp playing his cards close to his chest like he has been for the past couple of weeks, but I'm hoping, because I've looked at our February fixtures today, and it's mental how many games we've got in there that are really difficult. We've got Man City at home on the 7th, at home. Then we've got Leicester away on the 13th, Leipzig away on the 16th, and then Everton at home on the 20th. So those 4 games in a space of, 13 days, we're going to need Diego Jota back, aren't we, in Farnborough?
Yeah, we are going to need Diogo Jota.
Yeah, I can't.
You know
I just, no. Well, I wanted to go
Hotter, I think it's
Tim
calls him Hotter as well.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I don't know with you two. I don't know where I fucking stand. But yeah, mate, we've said this all along, hasn't he? He does put pressure on the front three, and like Weez has just said there, you've got Shaq, Mane, and Salah, and he would prefer that as the front three. Again, I'm open to whatever at the minute. Maybe Firmino needs, he's been under a bit of scrutiny the past few days since the game because of his lack of ability to put away the chances that he had, and maybe it is time that he might take a rest. And we put the creativity of Shaq up there and change it up a little bit, and it might be a bit of a kick up his arse, basically, which is what a lot of these players need at the minute. The way the games have gone over the last few weeks and stuff. But yeah, Diogo Jota is so important to this side, not just because of his goal scoring ability and the way he can finish a chance. It's just basically to give Mane and Salah and Firmino a kick up the arse, like, fuck, he's back. We best be on our game again, and that's probably what Jamie Carragher was alluding to on Monday Night Football, the fact that Jota's out, so these lads they're not sort of taking a back seat. That's not their attitude, but if there's always that thing is, well, I'm going to be playing anyway, I'm going to play the next game, that type of attitude. But just before we move on to that, let's just pick up on what Dan's just said. Hiya Dan, by the way, mate, thanks for coming back on. We appreciate it as always, mate. Every time we do a live video, Dan's here as well as Mark. We appreciate it. Playing Phillips would hinder us going forward. Awful in possession. Neither he or Matip can play left side. Fabinho centre back until the end of the season. Mick, apologies for just taking the reins on this little bit, mate. I just wanted to, because I'll fire this one back at you, because keen to get your thoughts on this, because obviously me and Tim have set our stall out in terms of centre half. Now I do get where Dan's coming from, and Dan's got a very, very good point. Phillips does sort of hinder us going forward and stuff like that. I mean, Dan, I'll explain myself. I was just thinking of his aerial ability and his sort of stature at being at the back. But I think for me, playing Phillips, it puts us more better in midfield, because that's where you're going to win and lose the ball. But Mick, your thoughts on what Dan's saying? He's right. He's got a point.
He is right. And yeah, thanks again for jumping on, Dan. Yeah, he's right, but I think we need to return to normality and have players playing in a position, because when we can do that, if you've got Matip and Phillips, or even Williams tomorrow, even if it's Matip and Williams, I'd be like, well, fair enough. At least we've got two centre halves there. We're not taking any of the centre mids out again, and we can build from there. I mean, if you have Fab sitting back in that role, you got Hendo on the right, I imagine Thiago on the left, and then just think how good that would be going forward. And in terms of Shaq, I'm not sure with Shaq, because it might be a game for Minamino, I think. I'm hoping it'll be, because we're at home, aren't we? So I'm hoping. Obviously, Minamino came in for the Palace game and he's done quite well in the very limited minutes he's got. But every time Klopp speaks about him, he's always complimentary about his work rate and whatever else. So I'm hoping tomorrow he'll get thrown back in. I mean, I think Klopp spoke about Firmino today about he doesn't think he's had a drop in form, and he has. But I think he's the type of player that thrives on having a crowd. Obviously, when we had 2,000 in the stand in Anfield, he legged it to the Kop end, didn't he, when he scored, and was thanking the crowd for their support. So I think that in a way has had a slight effect on him in terms of his creativity and everything else. So it might be a game for Minamino. I'm hoping. What do you think about that, Tim? Do you think Minamino might be a good shout as a false nine?
It wouldn't surprise me, but I see this being a game where there's potential for a 4-2-3-1 to come into play with with potentially Fabinho in the back line. As much as I'd like to see Phillips in with Matip, I would have thought, based off of everything that Klopp's shown us over the last 2-3 months, that it'll probably be Fabinho and Matip starting. That'll likely mean a midfield of if I was doing it, I would set up with Thiago and Henderson playing in the midfield, Minamino playing in behind Firmino, and then Mane and Salah out on the wings, just to give us a bit of a different look and something different to come into, because Burnley are not only a side that are going to look at the last few games and go, okay, well, we're just going to put 8 guys in the area, because they're going to anyway, whether we were on form or not, they were going to stack the box, basically. But they're a big side as well, and I think that we're going to have to approach this game a little bit differently to try and break them down in another way, because currently, if we continue to hammer in this game, playing down the wings and crossing into the area and becoming so kind of like easy to play against almost, because people have now figured out how we play and what the counter is. I think that if we're gonna really push on and see a change over the next few games in terms of results and form, I think it's going to come with a formation change, and I think it's a game where Minamino could come in and make a difference. And for that reason alone, I'd like to see Minamino, Firmino, and Thiago on the same pitch, just because their interplay would be interesting to see. So yeah, just it'd be interesting.
Honestly, I'm going to get you to name like every foreigner ever in the Premier League, just to hear the way you do it, mate. I just absolutely love it. I absolutely fucking love it.
Do you know what? Matt used to do that though, and it slipped. He's let his standard slip, and Tim's came here and just slapped him on the arse and said, "Sort yourself out, son." So well done, Tim.
Yes, indeed.
But in terms of Burnley, I mean, Klopp also mentioned like they've got like a really structured back line, and like you said, Tim, if we're doing the usual, getting to the wings, crossing it in, that's just literally what they practice day in, day out on the training field. Heading balls out, kicking it upfield, start again, back in shape, head the balls out, kicking upfield. That's so we need to, like I said, having more creativity in the centre of the park will make us a lot better tomorrow, won't it, Jay? Having those players that Tim mentioned, Thiago and Shaq or Minamino, those players that drop into those little cute holes and just can cause havoc. I'm hoping that's what Klopp will go for tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I mean, I did it this afternoon. I look back at the games that we've had against Burnley over the last few years, and it hasn't always been plain sailing for us at Anfield. You sort of look at it like last year, obviously, was again fucking annoying, dropping points, and you know, it essentially cost us the century, doesn't it? A points really, the game against Burnley. And then the year before was a bit of a struggle. If it wasn't for Adam Lallana with his performance, we probably wouldn't have got the 3 points. Which is why on the graphic I've used a backdrop of Adam Lallana, because I absolutely loved him in that game. The fucking big slide tackle that he made, the big block to Mane for his second goal was just fucking incredible. Sorry to go back there, but yeah, we do. It's not the best. I think we've only got like one victory over the last 3 or 4 years, I think, if my memory serves me right. So it's not the easiest of games, but we're at home, and we need a performance after what happened on Sunday. Because albeit, we might have got, if it wasn't for Alisson, we probably would have lost the game, because we weren't fucking scoring. We could have played till fucking midnight. We weren't going to fucking score. So we do need a big performance from these boys at the end of the day. And I like what Tim was saying about the creativity and stuff like that. And the problem I've got right at the minute, and Dan said it in the comments, obviously playing Phillips will hinder us and Fabinho at centre-back. And then Martin said a really good point about Shaq and Mane and Salah. We'd love all these changes because it's like, let's freshen it up a little, let's do it. But Klopp is damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. Say we play our way and we put Phillips and Matip at the back. Dan will be laughing his tits off saying, I fucking told you not to play Fabinho. Because if we get beat, he'd be like, well, I fucking told you, put Fabinho. And Dan would have been absolutely spot on. On the flip side, if we win 3-0, we'll be laughing at Dan the next time it comes on. Dan, I'm only joking, mate. I love you, really. But you see my point, don't you? If you don't put the normal front three and change it to what Martin's saying and put Shaq in and drop Firmino, you're damned if you do, you're damned. So I don't see how Klopp can win with either outcome of whatever lineup he does. We've just got to always say what we would like to see. I just want to see that midfield playing the way it does, because we've got a little bit overrun against United, and I want us to see control that midfield again. I do think that aerial ability, that Phillips might be better than Hendo. In that sort of retrospective the way, because of his stature and how big he is, I think he could have a more of effect on it. But let's face it, look at the way United played against Burnley. They fucking peppered him for minutes after minute after minute, and eventually they found a way through. I think we will do that. But again, it's just, how do you predict it, boys? Given the current circumstances that we're in, just don't know. I went on a bit too long there. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's no, you crack on to this. This is what we're here for, to get our little worries out and see if people share the same thoughts, which they obviously do. But it's like you said, Klopp's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't, because we're in this vein of form, because we're not doing it on the field, because we're not creatively smashing it like we usually are. Then I think Klopp mentioned it also today, saying like everyone's quick to react these days because of the world we're living in now with like lockdown and everyone's just on social media. There's just everyone's working from home or everyone's on furlough or whatever else. There's just a lot of people with a perception that changes a bit more quicker than it usually does because of there's all this shit talking all over the place in terms of Liverpool and what we're about and what we're doing, and which we're not doing great at the moment. But that can change in one game, and I hoped that would be the United game. But now I'm hoping it's going to be tomorrow up until the point where we actually fucking do it. I think once we get one win on the board and Jota comes back beginning of February, things will start to look rosy again. I think we've been spoiled the last 2 years. We think we can all admit that, and we just need to have a bit of patience. Yeah. But yeah, before we go then, boys, let's have a little score predictions. I'll come to you first. Tim, score predictions for tomorrow, please, mate.
I'm going to go with a 3-1. I think we are going to find our stride tomorrow going forward. I think we'll probably concede one because we'll get lazy at some point because we just will. But yeah, I think we find off a little bit of our form back tomorrow and we get a fairly comfortable win.
Jay?
I'm going to cheat a little bit like my ex-missus. I'm going to go for a cheeky little 1-0 because I'm going to go for not what I think the score will be, what I want it to be. So I'm cheating on that little scoreline. I want it to be 1-0 because I just think just fucking get a win. 1 goal, clean sheet, done. But at the end of the day, I will say this to everybody. Just don't look at the league table for the next 4 or 5 games. Let's just look at it in 4 or 5 games. As long as we're winning, let's just see what happens. Mick, score prediction.
So Dan's just gone for what? 3-0. Bobby, Shaq, and Salah. I hope it's that. I'm going to go for 1-0 as well. I just won. I don't care the way it happens. I just want a 1-0 victory because it's going to be a hard slog like United against Burnley. It was difficult. They're going to do the same again tomorrow. The exact same. We're prepared for that. They're prepared for that. It's just the fact if we can get a bit of luck and one sneaks in off a corner or just fucking win, as Martin says. Exactly. Just fucking win.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1-0. 1-0 own goal. Fuck it. Bring it on. I hope it's Ben Mee. Little bastard.
As always, thanks everybody for joining us as well that have been watching. We appreciate the numbers that we got on this one as well. Appreciate it. It's a Wednesday night. Thanks to Martin and thanks to Dan as always for your amazing comments, boys. We really appreciate it. We'll be back for the team news for the game tomorrow, and obviously we'll be back after the game as well. Enjoy it. Raise a pint for the boys, and let's pray for 3 points.